Today we will tackle the last few things that have so far eluded me in the Blueprince demo. The boiler room and the use for its power being the main one. But alongside, I still find a few new things to show you. And stick around to see if I can finally build a complete house. Last time, we were just one square away. If you enjoy my content, consider liking or subscribing. And check out my channel for more Blueprince content and beyond. We continue this Blueprince demo rerun on day 3. We have an allowance to pick up and then it's time to get our outside room for today. I go for the root cellar this time, just to mix it up a bit. As always, the start is just usual build-up, but on opening draft we see both our upgraded hallway and storeroom, as well as the workshop, which I've now made common. I picked the storeroom to give us early item boost, and also because I'm hoping for a shovel to go with the root cellar, but no luck. I placed a code check to retrieve my wrench. This is an important part of my boiler room plan. The garage makes an early appearance. While I do already have outside access, 3 keys for 1 gem is a good trade. And then it finally happens. The boiler room is here. It's going into a square with plenty space around it, and I get to use my wrench to make the room common, making it easier to access on the following day. I have visited the room once before in a previous video, so I know how to solve the puzzle. But last time I didn't get to connect anything else to power from this room. I actually picked the weight room next. It cost me a lot of steps, but as far as I'm aware, the use of red rooms is that they allow you to route the power further. With the power redirected to my current path of exploration, I can see which rooms can receive power during the draft. Furnace pops up next, and for once it feels like something I may want to pick due to the power use. It both connects to power and will give us other red rooms that can help with it. Turns out, a powered furnace will also create a single key. Passageway is a corridor, but it can also carry power across, spreading it to all the doors it connects to, which also makes it a good choice when trying to complete a power grid. The dark room still goes out even when connected to the boiler room power. The two systems seem not connected. And finally, I also managed to connect the laboratory to power. You may remember we already cracked the periodic table puzzle that tells us how to use the machine in the corner, but it does not work without the power from the boiler room. The solution is a simple one, and entering it unlocks the final locked outside door and the 4th permanent addition, the Blackbridge Grotto. This one allows us to access 1 offline terminal per day. I tried out on the lab computer and I'm able to connect to the office to spread money around without drafting the room itself. I can see plenty of use for it, like starting experiments without the lab, and possibly it might help with the mechanic in the shelter computer as well, as it requires monitoring certain values, but that's one I might just leave for the future and full game. The archives also take power to pass it on, but they do not appear to have any power-based mechanic. Chapel, on the other hand, is one of the red rooms that does not interact with power at all, so it cut that aspect of the build off. Unfortunately, the room choices here block me from getting much further with the power, but there is always tomorrow. Since I got so focused on utilizing the power, I have sacrificed the possibility of filling the house map. But it was worth it, as I now have much more understanding of this major mechanic that previously eluded me. I still have an unexplored area just off the entrance hall, so I use the garage to get back to the start, but my steps are actually getting quite low. Dining room appears right on time, and it's dinner that synergizes with the boiler room, so good recovery there. I draft the commissary, but the shovel is not available here today, so I guess all those dig spots are going unused. I get a chance to draft a tunnel, but it goes straight into the wall of another room, so not much use here. We will get back to that one. With a single door left at the 8th rank of the house, I decide to visit the Blackbridge Grotto while I'm nearby. This appears to be a large server room with a big door in the back, a console in the middle, and a computer terminal. The computer terminal is disabled in the demo, but I have previously collected a clue to what I think is an admin password for it. The door seems to be locked based on chips that need to be inserted to the central console. One is already here, but I've never seen other ones, so unlikely to be demo content. We will just have to wait for it. I take a quick trip back up to the chapel to see what I can finish the run with. Freezing is a good option for exactly that. However, at this point I don't actually notice that the temperature inside is rising. I assume this may be something to do with the presence of the boiler room, as we had it near just a furnace before and it made no difference. Interestingly, it does not require the room to be directly connected to the boiler room or the furnace at all, they just in the house. Anyway, don't worry about it, we'll get back to the freezer situation a bit later. I end the day by placing the sledgehammer in the coat check, as the wrench will not be useful anymore, but it's really helped us a lot this run. Day 4. On the final day, the outside room I pick is the shelter. Since I intend to build the power network with red rooms, not getting all the negative effects piled up sounds like a good idea to me. In security, I make use of the Grotto effect and connect to the lab to set up an experiment right away. I opt for getting dice from shop rooms. Billiard room gets me the silver key again, and I find the metal detector in the courtyard. Boiler room is the 8th room I draft. The wrench really did its job here. It's also placed quite in the open, leaving us with a lot of good options. The puzzle in the room remains solved across the days, so all you need to do is activate the boiler again. If the valve on the last tank was used to power the door, that's the one thing that may need adjusting. Of the first door, I managed to chain the dark room and the weight room for even more doors that can carry power through. However, don't actually get much luck with the rooms I get to pick here. I placed the powered lab, but we only had to unlock the grotto once, and the experiment is already set. I go back to fill some other room slots and pick up the magnifying glass in the guest bedroom. Back through the boiler room to try the other available power connections. I get the archives again to try and carry the power further. Garage is another room that can receive power. This automatically opens the outside door without needing to enable the wall controls. As I have the car keys, I get a lockpick kit and a secret garden key from the trunk. Laundry room can also be powered, but I don't pick it in that slot as I'm looking to fill up all the rooms and this would cut me off quite badly. But I have a bonus section at the end of the video that looks into what this effect is. I actually managed to get the bottom 4 ranks filled, so that's a good start. I draft the study. If you've not seen this room yet, it's a pretty juicy one. It has a very definitive explanation for the art on the wall puzzle, a safe with a secret floor plan in it, and the room functions is that now you can use gems as if they were dice to re-roll room drafts, which is pretty good when you're trying to get the whole map filled. Freezer makes another appearance and the temperature is rising again, but I decide to swing by the furnace to unfreeze my accounts for now, as I'm not done with this run yet. Upon my return, I pick up the defrosted items. There's also a secret room on this side, with an upgrade disk and another admin password for the server room. The inner freezer is unaffected by the room thawing. Turns out the alternative defrosting method is to use the burning glass item again. This one can unfreeze individual items. We get a special key, basement again, fairly sure not draftable in the demo. There's also a long letter from our great uncle, giving us even more hint to the interpretation of the art puzzle. A bit late, I already have all of this figured out. But who knows, maybe there's more secret messages in this letter that we just don't know how to interpret yet. To each their own letter? A bit later I encounter what I think is a bag, with 2 of my room choices being the hallway closet. But since it's a demo, let's just ignore that one. Secret garden leaves us a pile of fruit in the conference room. More steps for us. I now have 6 empty squares left and a single door leading to all of them. East Wing Hall is perfect here. I squeeze in the hallway closet as one dead end. Workshop moves us up, and I actually have a couple of item combinations available. Observatory to turn the corner at the top right, 2 squares remaining. I get a treasure map, but I no longer have a shovel as I made the dowsing rod. Second to last, Maid's Chamber. Usually not a room I want, but it turns us to the final spot. I do some rerolls, just for fun really, as I want to finish on a cool room. In the end, ballroom it is. That's it, the map is full. We receive a full house trophy, which actually lets us know that trophies, plural, are permanently added to the trophy room. Another mechanic to look forward to in the full game. My final house configuration is the Crimson Inn of the Dead. Interestingly, having a full house does not work itself into this screen. But there we go, I've achieved what I wanted to do. The boiler room power network and a full house. Regarding the tunnel, now that I know you can draft it in the demo, I had a go at it outside of the main run, and mostly it does what it says on the plan. It's a straight through room, and when drafting from it, the tunnel is always one of the options. So you can burrow across the house. It seems to want to orient itself only north and south. It's also the only room I've seen so far you can place in a way that would put a door at the edge of the house. However, the door is actually not present there. When reaching south edge of the house, I received 4 gems, but on the north edge I came to find a puzzle box that granted me an allowance token when opened. I'm not sure those rewards are consistent, or is it just a random chance. I am curious about the utility of this room. I guess it does let you skip ranks and then place a room other than the tunnel somewhere high up, but it skips a lot of other things that could also be useful. As for the powered laundry room, this makes another washing machine available with 3 new programs. A shoe shine swaps gems and steps. A star treatment swaps your allowance with your stars. And die cleaning swaps dice and keys. Another interesting set of mechanics that will likely come to full use in the final game. Okay, this time this is truly the end of me playing the Blueprince demo. Even with all the time I spent on it and all the discoveries I made, there's still more. I simply cannot wait for the full game to be available. I might still put up a few guide videos that put together the hints and solutions to the various puzzles to help out anyone who needs any hints. But other than that, I'll be looking at Blueprince again when the full game is finally here. In the meantime, check out my channel to see the other games I'm playing. And see you soon on another adventure.